There she is. Let me recite the Swahili poem for you guys. And thanks again for joining us this morning. We're loving having you here. Here goes. Mutoni, my eyes are forest green. Locks the twist of vined body. I am a curious elixir. It is the way of brown things to trap color. My feet raging against the coast. Chakacha spreading like fever. I cannot be stilled by ocean breeze. So many ways to soar over the Zanzibar. Mutoni, I am Swahili melody. The seizing of daybreak, the heart that is heavy with memory, the life that is prayer. I am Mutoni. Right, so that is the Swahili tribe. I think maybe let's pop back to South Africa. Come back home for a bit. I think let's visit the Zulu tribe. So you'll see on the book, on the cover, we have the Zulu woman in her traditional attire. Let me tell you a bit about the Zulu. The Zulu tribe is known to be the largest ethnic group in South Africa. Smaller groups of the Zulu tribe reside in parts of Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Mozambique. In the 19th century, the Zulu tribe was under the rule of King Shaka, son of Queen Nandi Nhlongo and King Sengankona Kajama. The tribe refers to themselves as the people of the heavens and are guided by principles of Ubuntu. I'm sure you've all heard the word Ubuntu. Ubuntu is the philosophy or the principle of the Zulu tribe. From a tender age, young girls in Tombi are taught to carry water on their heads, plant crops in the ground to feed their families, and they learn to ignite fires. Okay. Sip, sip. All right, so let me recite the Zulu poem for you guys. I, Zulu, am the first fruit of the sky. I am sun. Mkabai Kajama, setting forests of doubt on fire. Can you still hear me, Alma? Oh, okay. Sorry, just checking. All right, let me start again. I, Zulu, am the first fruit of the sky. I am sun. Mkabai Kajama, setting forests of doubt on fire, shedding a chorus of love. I am light's choir. I am warrior, cloud I am. Nandikapembe, the enlightening bearer of thunderous rain I am. Shield, spear, courage behind the spear I am. Fear on the battlefield, I am not. I hold the reins to the battlefield. I am moon. Munasekamtungwa, flooding oceans of reason with my rising. Wind I am. Magogo kadinuzulu, sweeping the notes of independence across the earth's surface. I am sun, cloud, moon, wind, queen. I am Zulu. Born dust, breath, Mkabai, Nandi, Monase, Magogo, my mothers and grandmothers. I am Zulu. Fearless, fiery, first fruit of the abundant sky. I am Bayete.
Bayete.
Are you a Zulu woman, Alma?
Yes, I am. I am a Zulu. I had the color, the whole outfit as well. So
I
when I saw
love
that
it.
picture, I was like, yes, that's
Yeah,
exciting.
okay.
Yes.
So what do you think? Should we stay in South Africa or should we visit a tribe somewhere else? What do you think?
Let's visit a tribe somewhere else because
Okay.
with all the travel restrictions, we haven't been able to leave home. So I'm vicariously listening to your book.
Okay, so let's take a journey then. Let's see. Sorry, just a sec. So many, it's hard to decide who to visit. Let's visit the Kikuyu tribe. So let me tell you about them. Let's pop over to Kenya and learn about the Kikuyu. Okay, the Kikuyu people are the largest ethnic group in Kenya, major lovers of gently brewed tea. The term Kikuyu is derived from the Swahili form of the self-designation Gikuyu. Gikuyu means large sycamore tree, and Agikuyu translates to children of the huge sycamore. All right, so let's jump right into the poem. Actually, before I do that, let me show you the Kikuyu woman. There she is with a big, beautiful smile. Let me recite the poem for you guys. I am Kikuyu, the first woman, keeper of red sky. I am peak, the twist of waste and fate. Have tea, learn, evaporate quickly before Muguti is played. When the wind carries me back to Kenya through your chest, you are permitted to breathe my way. I am settled like Mukimo in a girl child's belly. It is I, keeper of red sky. Be careful how easily you forget. So that was the Kikuyu of Kenya. We actually have a few South African tribes here which aren't always celebrated. So I think maybe let's visit the Tsonga tribe. This is the Tsonga woman. I think she kind of looks like Shoma Josie actually, but anyway. Let me tell you a bit about the Tsonga. The tribe is a sister tribe to a number of groups, namely the Shangaan, the Tsonga, as well as the Tonga people. Today, the various tribes can be found on the coastal plains of Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Swaziland, as well as in the Limpopo and Mpumalanga provinces in South Africa. The religious beliefs of the Tsonga people are rooted in a supreme being called Chikwembu, as well as an ancestral spirit. A shibelane, this is what it looks like. I'm sure you guys have seen a shibelane, so it's the skirt that the Tsonga women wear, bright and multicolored. A shibelane is a traditional dress that is worn by Tsonga women during ceremonial dances and is a traditional, and a vulalu is a traditional necklace worn as adornment. And there is the necklace. Right, let me recite the poem to you. Chikwembu sleeps, rooted in my mother's cassava garden. Limpopo's history blossoms in my grandmother's mouth. She waters our roots with her cremated tongue. The ocean of India dares not to compete. Chiluba plants wind in our hips and we sway, creating an avalanche of rainbow storms. Shibelani from afar, Lebombo Mountain giggles with the slipping sun, sharing the memories of our fruitful tribe. Shangaan, Tonga, Bulalu chains me to my sister's lungs. We are one, Chitsonga. And that, kids, boys and girls, is the Tsonga tribe of South Africa. Right. Let's see. I think we should head to Tanzania. Let's get our passports ready, cross some borders, visit the Haya tribe of Tanzania. This is the Haya woman, beautiful woman with a bald head there, as you can see. Let me tell you about them. The Haya people are people of Tanzania, based in the districts of Bukoba, Muleba, Karangwe, and Kagera region in the northeastern parts of Tanzania. Excuse me. Sorry. The people of Haya are most popular for their involvement in the breakthrough time regarding the advent of steel. Very interesting. They are also known for integrating music and complex dances into not only their ceremonies, but into their everyday lives as well. Two ethnic subgroups exist among the population, namely the pastoral Hema, who are descendants of the wandering Nilotes, and agricultural Iru, descendants of the original Bantu people. Omukamo is a ceremonial dance that people perform to exalt their king, and the term Omufumo refers to the healers in the community who use both herbal and spiritual powers to cure the ill. All right, let's jump into the poem. Let's go. Omufumo, the healers of broken skin. The sky litters onto our flesh. Still, our flames burn within. Omukamo, magic must live here. The sunset outlines the totem of my mother's visage. Oh, how beautiful we are. Dreams cascade into Lake Victoria, only to find wings here. Bukoba, the heartland of my DNA, my heartbeat higher. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Khanya tribe of Tanzania. Okay, now we're going to jump over to one of my favorite tribes, which is the Himba tribe. Let's visit the Himba. Let me tell you about them. The Himba people live primarily in Namibia and Angola in the Kunene region, formerly known as Kauka land, and through which the Kunene River flows to connect the two countries. The Himba broke away from the Herero people. The Himba have survived genocide by the Germans, severe drought and guerrilla warfare during Namibian independence and civil war in Angola. The region was known as Kaoko land then. Himba women traditionally smear ochize on their skins and on their hair. I think actually while you guys are watching, I don't know if you're able to access your browser, but it might be a bit interesting for you guys to open up your phones and go to your browser and look up the Himba woman. This is what she looks like in illustrated form. But it's very interesting to have a look at her and see the sochize that I just told you about, which they smear on their faces and on their hair. Very unique, very, very beautiful. So as I was saying, Himba women traditionally smear ochize on their skins and on their hair. Ochize consists of red ochre, butter, and herbs. It is a symbol of beauty. It naturally protects them from the scorching sun and insects, and it's also said to be a symbol of the earth and blood. So like I said, if you look it up on Google, you'll actually see it's an earthy color. So they do use red ochre, butter, and herbs to create that substance, which is called the chize, which they smear on their skins and on their hair. So let's jump into the poem. Call me Omuhimba, daughter of red mother, earth, blood, beauty, skin smeared with ochize, braces secrets told through herbs, butter, and ochre. I am daughter of Kunene River, who twirls in my veins, spills over from Angola, and cascades onto the Namibian desert floor. I dance up storms and raise up holy smoke. My feet exalting, clapping, our many survival steps applauding. The abundance of our heartbeats, a deliberate gift from Omukuru. And that, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, was the Himba tribe.
Yay! Thank you so much, Katlego. This has been so amazing. I feel like I took a trip in my country, and I feel like I took a trip on my continent. I actually looked up the Himba woman as you were speaking. I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I just have a question. How do people get hold of your book? For the people who want to buy more copies of Color Me Melanin, how do people get hold of your book? And what's next for Katlego?
Okay, so thanks so much, Alma, for featuring me. It's been absolutely lovely being here. So the book is available on my website, which is www.thecolorist.co.za. It retails for 170 Rand, including shipping across South Africa. So do pop over to my site and place an order. You'll receive the book within 3 or 4 days. So you'll get it very quickly in front of you and in your hands. So what's next? We're working on a second edition of the book, 27 More Tribes. We've explored pretty much all of the South African tribes. So now we're delving deeper into the rest of the beautiful continent of Africa. So look out for it. It should be out in the second half of 2021.
Yay, that's exciting. We can't wait. Thank you so much, Katlego. I absolutely love your book, and it was so great to have you on. Yay, get yourself a copy of Color Me Melanin. Yes, yes, yes. And next up, we have Khanya Africa with I Love Me.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, we can see you.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Good, thank you. So exciting to have you on.
Thank you
are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Go first.
Okay. I love me. Hi, friends. I am Khanya, an African whose name means light in isiZulu, isiXhosa, isiNdebele, and isiSwati. When I was small, my parents always told me that I was made with love and that I am beautiful. You should love and appreciate yourself, Khanya, because you're perfect just the way you are, they'd say proudly. I do love and appreciate everything about myself. My big brown eyes that greet the bright sun langa in the morning. And the glowing moon moedi at night. I like to look at the stars and connect them like dots to reveal faces of my favorite African heroes. I love my small button nose that smells the wet soil after it has rained, especially because rainwater is important for the yummy fruits and veggies planted in the garden to grow. I also like to smell the fresh flowers, which are good food for the buzzing bees. Isn't nature just magical? I love my ears that can hear the beautiful birds singing in the big green trees above. Music to my ears. I love my mouth that speaks kind words to friends and family and raps around to songs of unity and pride. I love the African in me, and so should you. I love my arms that give tight hugs to loved ones, and my hands that can create anything I put my mind to. I love my feet that run around the park all day, having fun with everyone while counting the steps I take to get to where I want to be. I love my thick locks that sit like a crown on top of my head, reminding me that I'm an African princess no matter where I go. I absolutely love my brown skin that wraps around my body like a warm blanket, protecting everything inside it. I am special just the way I am, and so are you. Even though we all look different, we can still love and appreciate each other for who we are. No matter where you are from, you should always love yourself and be the best you can be. I love me. That's it. We done.
Oh, Khanya. Oh, this is so cute. This has been absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
We're so excited. Tell us a little bit more about your book. Why did you decide to write this book called I Love Me? And where can people get your book?
You can get my book at Ethnic Kids. And I made this book because I just wanted to talk about being African and loving myself, and that you should also love yourself.
Oh, yay. Okay. And tell me, have you written other books? What are some of your other books about?
Yes, I've written, one of my most recent books was Kanya's Magic Book of Rhymes.
Okay, and what's that book about?
It's basically me. I find a rhyme book and I just learn lessons along the way about different things like cooking, the earth, and family.
Oh, that is so exciting. And tell us what's next for you, Khanya. Do you have more books lined up?
Yeah, we are gonna do some new things, but because of COVID, they've slowed down a bit. But I will give you more information when I know what's gonna. And I have my YouTube channel now.
What's your YouTube channel called? How do we go and find it? What's it called?
It's K the Case TV.
Oh, yay. Okay, that's great. So you said, can you tell us about all of your books? So it's I Love Me and it's Kanya's Book of Rhymes. And we can get it on ethnickids.co.za.
Yes.
Okay, that's exciting. Thank you so much, Khanya. What are some of your favorite books before you go?
My favorite book is my recent one, Kanya's Magic Book of Rhymes.
Oh, yay. Okay, what else are you reading at the moment?
The book I'm reading at the moment is this book my mom got me like 2 days ago called Gangster Granny. I really like it so far.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Gangster Granny.
Yes, I've read a lot of books. I've read all of the Dog Diaries. I've read Diary of the Wimpy Kid. I've read Aladdin. I've read the BFG. I've read a lot of books.
That's exciting. Yay, Khanya. Thank you so much. This has been so great. We really enjoyed your book. I know that everybody's going to go out and get I Love Me and Kanya's Magical Book of Rhymes, and we're all going to subscribe to your YouTube channel. Thank you so much, everybody. We are going to take a break until 12, and then we have Lebohang Masango and Claudine Storbeck with Bumi and Jabu's Magical Day. So thank you so much to our 2 participants so far. We'll see everybody again at 12.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Khanya.
Bye.
everyone. Thank you so much to everybody who's joined us. We're back. Can I just ask Claudine and Lebohang to please turn on their videos and we can start.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks, and you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm just spotlighting you and all right. Hi, Lebohang, we can't hear you. I'm not sure what's happening with Lebohang. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great.
Okay, so we're super excited. Can you guys, before we begin, this book is very cool. Can you tell us a little bit about the book and what the inspiration behind the book was, particularly during this very special month?
Okay. I actually met Claudine at an event in 2018, and the book was actually her idea. Because actually, I'll let you tell the story, Claudine.
So I saw Lebo telling the story of Mpumi's magic beads. It was an event where it was about ECD, and she came as one of the keynotes to present the story. And I watched it and just thought, this girl is, because I mean she's like so much younger than me, is a remarkably gifted storyteller. And I just fell in love with Mpumi, this funky little girl who just, and I thought, imagine if such a strong little girl who's so comfortable in herself meets my little deaf boy. Because when you're different and you're disabled, you need a leader to really like you. And I just went to her and said, oh, what do you think? And she didn't even hear the whole story. She was like, yes, I think it's a great idea. And, that's where it all started. And then, over to you, Lebo.
Yeah, so then it took us about a year and a half or so, and we brought our characters together because Claudine had already created books around deaf characters, and Mpumi was just like on her debut. So then we decided to bring these worlds together and to form a friendship between Jabu and Mpumi. Yeah.
That is so amazing. And I think that like it's powerful that you're saying that, because this is an adventure of a hearing girl and a deaf boy. And I want to know what you hope that this book will do for its readers.
Well, I really hope that children are able to realize that even though they have their differences, that doesn't get in the way of them being able to make friends with each other. And through the end papers we've put in as well, hoping to introduce them to sign, we hope that they'll be able to feel comfortable enough to greet each other, communicate with each other, and play with each other.
Oh, yay. With that being said, let's begin. I'm so excited.
Okay, cool. Let's get started. Okay. Mpumi and Jabu's magical day. On a sizzling hot day, one summer afternoon, some children gather after school. A little boy, Jabu, peeks around a tree. I wonder if anyone will play with me. He's already been spotted by Mpumi, a girl with a gentle heart and magic braids that glitter and spangle and spark. Mpumi sees him all alone and wants to bring that to an end. She decides it's time to make a new friend. Mpumi puts her hand to her mouth and calls, "Hello, Sawubona." Hey! She feels a little confused and thinks, maybe he doesn't want to play. Jabu sees her looking straight at him, With a frown on her pretty face, he wonders if she could be cross, but a park is a fun-filled place. Mpumi walks a little closer with a smile and a wave. She says, "Hello, I'm talking to you." Jabu slowly smiles back and waves his hand too. He signs, "Why do you look so blue?" While they sit on the bench laughing together, Jabu's mother walks over and signs. "Hi, I'm Jabu's mama," she says, using her mouth and her hands. "My son Jabu is deaf and wears hearing aids too. So we sign by making our fingers move." "Wow," says Mpumi. "I would love to learn. Jabu, please teach me sign language too." What a wonderful day, they both think later. Making friends isn't as hard as it seems. After brushing their teeth and reading their books, they jump into bed and have happy dreams. The very next day, Jabu walks into school. He sees his friends and they wave. He says, "You won't believe what happened in the park yesterday. I was very brave. I met a new friend. She's hearing, not deaf, and we laughed and played all day." It's break time at Mpumi's school. Her friends hug and giggle and scream. "What are you doing with your fingers and hands? What on earth could it mean?" "My new friend taught me how to talk with my hands. He's wonderful and so clever." Mpumi beams. "That's so cool. We also want to meet him." Mpumi smiles and calls them to an empty room. They huddle and giggle and hold hands. "We wish to visit him at his school." The beads jingle and jangle and sparkle. The beads shimmer and glimmer and shine. The friends look on with big eyes and big smiles as they take off and fly into the sky. They land at the school excited and peer into a room so dark. Mpumi whispers, "There's my friend Jabu, the boy I met at the park." While the actors run across the stage, the girls tiptoe quietly and find seats. There's a woman waving her hands as the children sway to the beat. The lights go on as the show ends. Mpumi grins and waves. Jabu tells his friends, "That's the hearing friend I made." "The play was wonderful," Mpumi signs. "Did you hear Snow White scream?" Jabu shakes his head and says, "No, but the old lady looked very mean." "Did you see the lady on the stage, the one waving her hands? She's the sign language interpreter who helps us understand." "My name is Jabu. What are your names?" The children sign and chat. "Tiamo, asante." They both smile. How do we sign that? Mpumi finger spells their names saying, and this is Lerato and Jack. Now we're friends, they all exclaim. Let's go out and play. The bell rings with a flashing light. That signals it's time to go home. They join together and head for the gate and giggle and skip down the road. All around, there's chaos as the friends patiently wait in a queue. They're shouting and hooting everywhere while nothing seems to move. Smells of fried chicken, slap chips, and bunny chow float up and fill the air. The friends' stomachs grumble and groan, but the taxis just don't care. Oh, I wish we could go to the park and play. Mpumi hears her friend say, I've got an idea, she says and signs. I will use my magic beads and get us out of here. The beads jingle and jangle and sparkle. The beads shimmer and glimmer and shine. The friends look on with big eyes and big smiles as they take off and fly into the sky. They laugh and spin and slide and swing. The 6 new friends have so much fun. Jabu and Pumi brought them together. A wonderful friendship has begun. Mpumi shared her magic, and Jabu taught her sign language too. A hearing girl, a deaf boy, they both learned something new. They suddenly stop chatting and look right at you. Young friend, can you sign? We invite you to. The end. Thank you.
This is such a beautiful book. I absolutely love it. I want to know from both of you what some of the challenges in writing this book were. I mean, I can imagine co-authoring is difficult, or maybe not. But I'm curious about what some of the challenges in writing this book were, particularly in having the hearing girl and the deaf boy, and wanting to have them both well represented in the story as well. I know that stories are like this went around when I was small. So our first interaction people who are hard of hearing was when you're an adult, and I can actually still remember how that interaction was, you know.
Mm. Well, I want to say that it wasn't, there weren't challenges at all. It really was a matter of coming together and writing the book. I think we wrote it together in one setting, and the rest of what came after was all like editing, chopping, changing, going back and forth about the details. But the cool thing about Claudine being such an expert in her field is that it was really easy to come together because she already has this wealth of knowledge. So it was very easy to just come together and put the book together. How do you feel, Claudine?
Yeah, it was the easiest collaboration I've ever had. We literally just, like I said, it was so surprising. We just sat down and said, where should it start? And we blinked and the story was finished. I learned so much from Lebohang because she writes differently from how I do. She's very organized. And so the next book that I've started writing is, I've literally used your technique, Lebohang. I was like so impressed. I was like, I'm going to do that. And so it has helped me so much. No, I thought it was a wonderful collaboration. And should we tell them our secret? That, they are going to stay friends for quite a while.
Yeah. wanting to play friends for a while and have many fun and interesting adventures. Because, as you said, Alma, coming into contact with people who are deaf only when you're older. But I'd love to think that so many young people will come in contact with each other at a younger age. And I'm hoping that a book like this and other books will help them realize that there is no need for there to be like these huge barriers that seem like they can't be overcome. And, you know, all of us have our differences. And really, if we understand it as just being another one of those differences, then we get to come together, I think.
At the end of the book, you encourage children to learn to sign. How do we go about this?
Well, in the end papers, which I didn't get a chance to show, but the end papers have got the sign alphabet. So kids are able to practice their signing. There's something very wonderful that Claudine actually taught me is that when you, for instance, want to sign your name, you can come up with a name sign. So my name sign, for instance, is this, you know, so instead of like spelling out my name each time, you can just do this, and that's my name sign because my eyes kind of slant upwards. And then any other, maybe your name sign would be this because your head like branches out. Claudine, what's your name sign again?
Name sign is Claudine because I have a mole under my right eye, so it's Claudine.
Yeah, so like an identifier like that. So I think the easiest place for kids is to come up with your name sign and then use our very fun alphabet to just teach yourself the other basics. Yeah.
That's
amazing. And then the
amazing.
other exciting thing is that there is, once they've learned the alphabet, they can access a free sign language dictionary. So if they just go to Roots Resources, it is our gift to every child that finishes this book and learns the finger alphabet. So once they know the sign language alphabet, then they can go and log on to Roots Resources and download a free sign language dictionary.
How do people get hold of the book, and how do people come into contact with you guys?
Okay, so where people can get the book from is like most good bookstores so far, but if you just Google Mpumi and Jabu's Magical Day by Lebohang Masango and Claudine Storbeck, then it should, different places where it's being sold should pop up. I always encourage people to do that instead of walking into a bookshop, because sometimes you would have made the trip and the book perhaps won't be there. Maybe it's not in the language you want it to be in. Oh, and by the way, the book is available in 6 of our languages so far, and then the rest of the 5 are going to print very soon, and by the end of this month you should be able to get it in whatever language you would like it in. It's also available in ebook format. I think the best place to go for now is newafrica.com, and that's where the book is currently being sold, only for 120 Rand. The ebook is 95 Rand. And oh, Claudine, do you want to tell them about Mpumi and jabu@gmail.com?
Yes, so we've got this little email address for any children who want to send us a little sign language video of themselves finger spelling their name, saying hello to us. We want to make a couple of friends, and so we're starting just, you know, little Mpumi and Jabu real friends, so real little friends in South Africa, or of course all over the world. And once we have some friends chatting in sign language, we'll invite them to our second book where we'll teach them a little bit more signing, but it's really about inclusivity and just being, you know, accepting of difference.
Yeah.
I want to know what the reaction to this book has been like. So I mean, I remember when Lebohang's book came out, I was like making everybody that I know who has a child buy this book. Because I was like, oh my gosh, they have the same hair as us, you know, the same hairstyles, etc. And I mean, it's been great because I've now discovered Claudine's work as well. So I'm really curious about what the reception to this kind of book has been like.
Well, I mean, Lebohang's the famous one, so over to Lebohang.
Well, I think we've had a really warm reception on social media. We've had people buying the book for themselves, buying it for friends' children and nieces and nephews. So it's been a wonderfully warm reception. Of course, lockdown probably has affected the way people are buying books currently, because at the beginning, when the book came out, you know, I think we were still on stage 3 or 4. And so people weren't always walking into bookstores to buy books. But I'm hoping that the lockdown period did give people a chance to get cozy with like digital buying stuff over the internet. But yeah, so far the reception really has been warm, and we're just hoping that continues. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lebohang and Claudine. This has been absolutely amazing. I am also going to learn to sign my name. I think that the call has been great, not just for parents, not just for kiddies, but for parents as well. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. We really do appreciate it. And everybody's gonna go out and get Lebohang's books and Claudine's book and this book as well. So it's gonna be a busy month of buying.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
for
Thank
having us.
you.
Selling up. I'm selling up. I'm selling up. It's only up.
Hi, Wonder Team. Can I ask you guys to please start your video? Okay. Hello.
Unmute. Do I
Hey.
Hi.
You look great. Don't worry.
Do I look like I'm in a car?
Yes, but I'm assuming it's load shedding.
Yes.
Oh, the bane of all of our existences.
So,
Okay, Sihle, welcome to the Cheeky Native Children's Festival. We are so excited to have you read from Wanda. I love the story, so I'm super pleased. Can you hear us well?
yes, I can hear you well, Alma, but Mathabo is joining as well.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to wait for her. How have you been? Has been a wild morning.
It has been, but I'm good. I'm well. I feel like ever since I read Dr. Zweli Mkhize's latest update, I don't know what you think about it. He said the storm is over. And so in some ways, whether it is true or not, there's some like slight comfort in feeling like maybe the second wave isn't going to be terrible, you know? Like, so I think there is some hope. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really excited. I think just for post-lockdown, if that's even a thing.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, we all just have been a little bit reflective. We've all been like, we have just a newfound appreciation, you know, for certain things. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what this next part will be like, you know.
This next part of life. Almost like we're about to start living, really.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny also. I was actually saying this to my husband today. So I usually I just like, will plait my hair, I'll do whatever, you know. And I was saying to him, I was like, no, you know, I have to have my hair like Wanda and like I love me from Khanya. So I'm just like not going to plait my hair. I'm just gonna do it because I need to just like look like Wanda, you know. So I was very motivated. I didn't comb my hair, but it's fine. I still look like Wanda.
I can't see you. Is that intentional?
Yes, because we spotlighted you, but it's fine.
Okay, cool.
1 second. You can see me now.
Yeah, I can see you. I'll keep it
Yeah,
there because
so
I think that's what people really want to see. You look great.
I have my hair like Wanda.
It's beautiful.
So yeah, it's exciting. I wonder, I love children's books. I was saying this to Claudine and Lebohang, who just read from such a beautiful story of inclusivity, Bumi and Jabu's Magical Day, about a deaf boy and a hearing girl. It was just a beautiful story. And I was saying, I don't remember there being children's books with people who look like me when I was small. So there's something so exciting about being able to see yourself in stories, even for my future, like my imaginary
Yeah,
future.
your future suspended. Yes.
Yeah, but there's space for that to start your children's library is great.
There's a line that I really like that talks to, I guess, to parents as well. It says you should never give a child a book you wouldn't want to read yourself, right? And I think really what, like, the beauty of children's books, I think one day for children, but I think in a lot of big ways as well, they are for adults. And I think the wonderful thing is that even though we didn't have them growing up, there's this like really great opportunity to almost like redeem the time that we didn't have. And one, I guess, because they're so much easier to read, but that they can still restore us in all of the ways that we needed to be childhood, or if that's a word,
That's so true. Yes. Oh, this is Miriam. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Are you guys purposely matching with the white tees?
I mean, it always happens like this. Like, we never had a conversation. Yeah, I promise you, it like always happens like this, honestly.
I mean, yeah, sure, guys. Okay. How are you? How are you, Miriam?
We well, thank you. How are you?
We're good. We're good. We're excited. We love the Wonder Story. I was actually telling TK that I was inspired by the story today. Just have my hair out. So I wanted to look like the cover.
I wanted to look like the cover. And you did it. Better even.
I'm so excited. Miriam, how are you? Can you hear us, Miriam? Sorry, can you guys hear us?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can hear you from my side. Matty, can you hear?
Hectic. Oh no, it's Mathabo, not the legend.
Sorry, no.
I would laugh.
You know what? It's so funny. Sorry.
I would laugh.
You know what? Nontshokweni is teasing me because I made this mistake earlier this week as well on the post I wrote Miriam, because that's how I remember your name. I was like, Mathabo Miriam. I'm so sorry. Please do accept my apologies.
No, it's an honor. Really, thanks.
She's waiting there like, I think Miriam is trying to hear you.
I was like, I'm saying. Then I literally realized after I said it that I called you Miriam Tlali because this is what happened. Nontshokweni cursed me during the week because during the week on the post I wrote Miriam Tlali and he was like, girl, wrong Tlali. So I my apologies, my most sincere apologies, Mathabo. I'm speaking that like greatness into being. Please receive it.
Come on.
Thank you.
So before I get carried away again, please can I ask you guys to read? We are so excited for the story, and then we'll just have a discussion afterwards.
Okay.
Take it away.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
So we're not going to start from the beginning because I don't think we have enough time, right? So I'm gonna...
Y'all have time. You have like 25 minutes. So do it as you please. We are here for you.
Okay, girl, let's do this. Let's go, Mathabo.
Let's go, friend.
Wonder races to the bus stop. She trips and falls. When she looks up, she sees the school bus. Oh no! Stop the bus! Stop the bus! Wanda waves and gallops like a horse to get to the bus.
Tatu Pejula, the bus driver, is not pleased. You are late. Wanda sits down. I made it, she says. Then she hears Tula and Sizwe's voices. Ewena, you always huffing and puffing, shouting, stop the bus! They say, making fun of her. Miss Bush, Miss Bush, Miss Bush. They shout, pointing at her hair.
She frowns and repeats the words her mother says to her every morning. I am a queen, and this is my crown, she says, pointing to her head. Ha ha! A queen with a crown! I forget you have a wonderful imagination. Wanda lifts her head proudly, just like the many women from Lungiseleli Drive. She hears Mama's words. Intombi mayizithembe Wanda. A young girl must always remain confident. She puts on a brave face, but she is haunted by the ticking of the clock. Utata must drive faster, she thinks. She has to get to school early enough in time for her big switch.
Nobody knows why Wanda always wants the bus to hurry up. No one knows that Wanda changes the cloud that her hair combs so beautifully. She changes it to something her teacher, Mrs. Stone, calls neat and clean for a lady in green. No one seems to struggle like me, she thinks. My hair is a crown, but one made of thorns.
The next day, the bus is late again. Tula and Sizwe, like two proud hyenas, tease her. But she does not look at them. Their cackles are whooshed away by her thoughts. She imagines that her hair is smooth, like a superhero's cape. The bus reaches the school gate just as the bell rings. Wanda is frantic. Tears stream down her face. She doesn't have time to make the big switch. She runs to join her class line. I will get a black dot on my star chart. She will say it's a bird's nest. She said this to the other girls before. Wanda holds her breath. Mrs. Stone starts to walk down the line.
Wanda can no longer feel herself breathe. The whole class turns to watch. She wishes the earth would open up and hide her away. She tries to hide behind the boy in front of her. Mrs. Stone seems to tower over her. The bus was late for school. I couldn't fix my hair. I'm sorry, ma'am.
But in her head, the words are different. My mother says my hair is strong and beautiful like clouds. I say so too. I love my hair, and one day I'll be brave enough to say so. Noticing Wanda's frightened eyes, Mrs. Stone takes pity on her. Find an Alice band in the lost property box, she says. Wanda finds an Alice band, but she imagines Tula and Sizwe laughing at her. She tries to be brave, to be confident. Be confident, she reminds herself. She tries again to find a sway to go about her school day.
After school, she walks home. A heavy walk, no sway. Maybe Tula and Sis were all right. Maybe I'm not a queen, she says to herself as she chokes on her tears. At the front of the gate, she tries to make the last big switch of the day. Her 10 tiny fingers run through her flattened hair, trying to puff it out.
Wanda walks into the kitchen to the brightest smile and wide arms open to swallow all the sadness in her 8-year-old body. Makulu, Wanda says. She buries herself in Makulu's arms. Kumkanikazi, her grandmother says warmly. I'm not a queen, Makulu, Wanda wails. I don't want this hair. You are a queen, and your hair is your crown, Makulu says gently to Wanda.
Your mom told me that you are having problems with your hair, and I came with gifts fit for a queen. Makulu takes out a scrapbook. To Wanda's surprise, the first page is filled with pictures of beautiful women wearing hairstyles she's never seen before. Wow, Makulu, she says in wonder. Her hair is tall, like Vuka's peach tree, Wanda says. This lady's hair is so curly and pretty, it looks like the rose bush in Makulu Violet's house. Makulu cannot hide her smile as Wanda talks about the hairstyles on the page.
Makulu, who are these women? Ah, Makulu says, this is Diana Ross. This one is Winnie Madikizela Mandela. This is Brenda Fassie. And you see this one? This is Shado Twalo. And this one is Angelique Kidjo. And this one is my favorite, Miriam Makeba, the Rihanna of our time. They both laugh.
Makulu turns to the last page. That's Mama, Wanda says. Makulu chuckles. Yes, it is. And that is me, she says, pointing to the second picture. Wanda gasps because her mother was right. Makulu's hair, just like her mother's hair, and just like her own hair, is beautiful. Makulu pulls out a picture out of her bag. Wanda looks at it and a smile fills her face. Look, I was a tiny baby with a big hair. Yes, you were, Makulu says. Perfect. They both laugh.
Now every crown has its secret, Makulu says to Wanda. Bring me my special comb. Wanda expects each rake of the comb to be painful. But instead, Makulu sprays a magical mist which softens Wanda's coarse hair. Which hairstyle do you want? Wanda chooses from the scrapbook. She looks through it. Makulu, what is the secret to my crown? Wanda asks. It is water and 100% olive oil, Makulu responds.
The next day, Wanda calmly greets Tadubejula. There are no hyena voices buzzing in her ears. The boys are quiet as they watch Wanda take her seat. Tula sits with his mouth wide open. Sizwe is shocked. You look like a queen, Tula says. And like the beautiful and proud women from Mlungiseleli Drive, Wanda looks straight ahead. She pays no attention to the silly boys. This time, she truly knows she looks like a queen.
I love that. I am like, the politics of hair is just very interesting. And I want to know what inspired this book. I mean, before you joined Mathabo, I was actually saying to Sihle that, just even having your hair out is like an event, So now, because of how we've had people inside with our hair, you have to think hard, I mean, my husband was saying he hardly ever sees my hair out. And I was like, what? And now there's this beautiful book that you guys have written about Wanda and her hair and her crown. I want to know, what was the inspiration behind writing this beautiful story?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think for both of us, I think there's like varying reasons around like the inspiration behind the book, and I think it's equally our lived experience, right, in terms of our hair. But I think just to kind of like to pin it, I guess, in my own thinking, I think it was this thing of every time you're going to an event, right, or if you, let's say you're going for an audition, or you're going to somewhere that is exceptionalized, there is the sense that you need to get your hair ready, right? Like, so it cannot arrive there as it is. So I think I think for just that realization of saying, wait a minute, every time when I need to go and do something, I feel like I need to go and contort my hair into something that is more likable, that looks beautiful, so that I can feel beautiful. And I think that first time realization of seeing that, of saying, oh, wait a minute. And I think I was just sharing with Mathabo, that first time for me, I was going for an audition and I'd sent a picture of myself with weave on. And then they called me, but I'd already taken the weave off, right? And I said to my partner, I was like, well, I think they're not going to think I'm as beautiful with my natural hair. And just realizing that conversation and everything that was loaded in it really, I think, was a key part of the conversation of why the book came about, or like our thinking around the importance of creating the story.
Yeah. We also think it was really, really important to highlight the fact that your hair is your canvas, right? You're not an extension of other people's politics. So I think by and large, as a child, like my mom and my parents had a hair salon, and I realized the pattern of before school starts, I'm taken to the seat and somebody else is doing something that they are imagining that I have no say on, right? And also this idea that, your hair needs to be one way to be perceived a certain way. So if you have an afro, there's a particular level of seriousness you are taken with. When you don't have an afro, there's a particular, because last year I relaxed my hair in December, and I could tell a distinction of how people perceived of me pre-relaxed hair. And now that I have relaxed hair, like there's a different conversation, there are different groups of people that I'm attracting, and there are different kinds of conversations that I'm attracting. So it's the idea of instilling in children that they do have the choice to have their hair in any which way, which the moment of Makulu's scrapbook encapsulates that, right? So we see Diana Ross in her wavy long hair. We see Mamu Brenda Fassie in her blonde pixie cut. Mamu Winnie Madikizela Mandela, the hair story that is imbued in the history and the legacy of Mamu Winnie Madikizela Mandela, whilst in tandem being a struggle icon. I think that that's something worthy of unpacking. So it's just the diversity of hair, but central to all of this is choice. Abantwana need to be given the language to articulate what it is they want and why it is that they want.
I love that you've spoken about autonomy of choice. I'm always saying to you that I'm not going to pierce my daughter's ears, right? It's like there's an autonomy of your body that we don't often allow our children. So maybe she doesn't want to have pierced ears. I don't know. We'll find out, But I love what you said about choice, because all of us have that experience where you're sitting and your hair is being pulled. I have not combed my hair in 2 years because I still have the trauma of like childhood of having people pull my hair and like want to fight with this texture of my hair that was just never going to be whatever they wanted it to be, So I think that what you said is so powerful about giving children the autonomy of choice, so you can choose what you want done on your hair. My niece doesn't want to comb her hair, and you know what? We let her flourish because it's her hair. Like
it is her hair.
When you want to comb your hair, you'll comb it. I want to know how the co-authorship came about. It's not very common to have this kind of like story co-written, and the two of you wrote the story together. So how did that come about? And I guess, what's the reception to the book been like?
Hmm.
Go for it, friend. This is Dev's your question. This is Dev's your question.
So Mathabo and I actually went to high school together. So we've been good friends for an incredibly long time. And we used to be in the same drama team together. And we had always been creating stories together in a big way, right? So I think a big part of our friendship was around this creation, right? Like, but then we were creating plays at the time. And we used to always say, you know what, when we are much older, we're going to have our own arts festival and we're going to have our own bursaries for children. And like, so it was always this like very like dreaming about a world that we would create through creativity and arts. And I think when I had initially approached Kekana wanting to write a story initially, and then ultimately a children's story, the first person that I knew I wanted to co-create the story with was Mathabo. And I think that's really the basis of that being our history of developing stories on stage. And so I think that's really how it came about, like with approaching Kekana, knowing that I wanted to write the stories, creating the story, and really knowing that the person who would really complement that entirely and that we'd be able to make magic together was her. So I think it's really rooted in friendship and that creative element of the friendship.
Yeah,
what's the reception
fully captured.
to the book been like? Mathabo was like, yes, friend, yes. What's the reception to the story been like? Have you been surprised by some of the reception? I mean, there tends to be a feeling about children's books that people aren't going to be very keen. But I have seen the book like quite often, so I feel like people are very receptive to the book. So I am quite curious about what the reception to the book has been like. But also, what's next for the Wonder team? Is my girl Wanda going on more adventures?
That's my girl Wanda. I love it. She's your girl. Like, welcome to Underworld, cheeky natives.
Come on, cheeky natives.
Listen, guys, listen. I mean, it's funny because I was saying this, that I'm planning to just have this library for my imaginary children. When I see children's storybooks that I enjoy, I'm always like, mental notes, Wonder is just great because I feel like it's so much of what so many of us do. So the scene where she's stressed about combing her hair, I know all of us went through. That is like every little black girl story where your hair is being combed and you're going through it, So I love the story of Wanda. I think even the Grand Prince, that story felt so authentic. It feels so true to what our experiences are. So I want to know what's next for Wanda. What's next? What's happening?
What is next?
So I think to answer the reception question first, we had a conversation about this. I don't know if you remember, Sihle, last year when we were like, okay, this book is out and people are like biting. I was surprised. I wasn't surprised that people received the book, right? I think on my end, I was surprised by the intergenerational reception of the book, right? So adults buying the book for themselves. Really surprised by the form of intimacy that this book sort of honed with adults to their own childhoods. And I think it bears testament even to our process when we were writing the book. I was telling Sihle when we were writing it, I was like, it feels like I'm constantly giving my 8-year-old a hug with every line that we write, with every, it almost feels like this is a book. We say this, no, Sihle, but it is a book, a children's book in form, right? The style of the book, but the narrative is an intergenerational narrative, which also then echoes the fact that it's not just Wanda in the story, it is Wanda, Mama Wanda, no Makulu in the story. And we see the importance of that intergenerational transmission when it comes to self-esteem, when it comes to identity, politics, and just identifying with yourself. You are not just a product of your own mind, right? Like, and it's so good in a world that is formed and institutionalized to marginalize you, that you constantly have access to that knowledge that makes you, that made the people that you come from, to constantly stand firm in who you are confidently. So in terms of the reception, it was the intergenerational aspect for me that was rather surprising, and the conversations that we had. Like last year, Yakumbule 27 Box's friend, when I think she was a 21-year-old, she cried. She was like, I wish I had this book when I was 10. And she felt really weird, like, do I buy it for myself? Don't I? But she eventually
And she'd
did,
taken
right?
her nieces there, right? She'd just taken her little sisters there. She didn't expect it to be for herself.
So yeah, I think the reception has been really surprising, especially the fact that children's books in the literary world are so incredibly marginalized, which speaks to a greater system of the marginalization of children as agents of themselves, as what should have you. But yeah, we were surprised given the fact that there's this huge sidelining of children's books, that it would still be received in such a meaningful way. It's not just the numbers, but the stories imbued in the numbers for us is what's really special.
I am so in love with everyone who's speaking right now. I'm just like, okay, y'all don't start talking. I want to know what is next for you guys. Is Wanda going on another adventure? What's happening? Why did Mathabo avoid this question? I feel like Mathabo avoided this question because she was like,
Mathabo, answer this question.
Oh, my friend, you can answer this question. I feel like
we want to know what is next. As lovers of Wanda, we want to know what is next.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The first thing is that anybody who has loved Wanda, we're inviting to a much bigger world, which we call Wonder World. And I think one of the key legs, which were definitely led by Mathabo that we recently experienced, was the play for Wanda. So I don't know if a lot of people have gotten to see the play that we just recently did with Acetage. And so that was an incredible first step of Wanda being embodied in physical form, right? And I think that goes to tell you like that Wanda isn't just trying to stay in literary form. It's really trying to like almost like open a tent and like occupy all different corners. So I think that's one, seeing Wonder in actual theater post-COVID. That's the first thing, right? It's Wonder in animation form. It's Wonder in film. But also we've been working on book 2 over the last couple of months, which is coming together. We made a submission, but we are really, so I think it's the development of the next part of Wonder growing up, so that we can really take kids through this journey of Wonder World. So yeah, I think that's that. Like anybody listening who loves Wonder, we'll be inviting them to a much bigger story than this one book, right?
Oh my goodness. So somebody commented, Koketso commented that she didn't know that there was a play. I also didn't know that there was a play. Post-COVID, I'm taking my niece to come and see this play because my niece is also a little Wanda in the making. She also has a cute little. So we're gonna be watching. Where can people get the book? Because our supporters, our cheekinators, don't ask for TDH. They don't copy books. They don't do those strange things. They actually buy the book, which is what we need. Please, can people buy the book? So where can people buy the book? How do people access Wonder World so that we don't miss out on the play again? Also, we low-key, high-key need to get your book at the Cheeky Merchants. We would love to sell Wanda at the Cheeky Merchants. So before you get onto the Cheeky Merchants, how can people get hold of the Wanda book? Where can they do this?
Well, we are at every major book store, so bargain books, exclusive books, Van Skyke, CNA, but a great deal. We're online, we're on Amazon. Who's also on Amazon? Rihanna, thank you so much.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Oh my God,
so what's also really been such an incredible source of joy and consistent support are independent booksellers, like Ethnic Kids, 27 Boxes, and now Cheeky Natives, hello. So we're really excited to grow that market as well. And majority of those markets, in fact, all of those markets are led by Black women and Black individuals. So I'm really, 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 we are really, really grateful to have had that support from start to finish consistently and growing with us. So we're not just books in a store. We are people. We are ideas. We are full, and we are growing together, which is exciting.
I know people are just gonna be crashing on you guys after this because I am already just like, oh my god, I'm in love with the Wonder team. Do you guys have a social media? What are your social media handles? What are you? Do you have a website? How do we not miss out on Wonder World news? Because I don't want to miss the play again.
So right now we are developing our website and we are developing our social media pages. They're up, but we haven't launched them yet. At the moment, you can follow our individual pages. It's Sihle _Wonder Woman, Sihle _WANDA WOMAN, and Mathabo _Tlali, MATHABO _TLANLI. And from those pages, you will see when we're going to launch our official interwebs, the interweb sort of take over Wanda. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, ready. I mean, before you guys go, I'm curious about what some of your favorite books are. We have this conversation with most of our authors, so I want to know what some of your favorite books are. And Mathabo, you mentioned your 8-year-olds, so I want to know what books you're reading to them.
My 8-year-old self, not a baby.
Okay.
Not a young one.
Not a real 8-year-old.
Not a young one. My 8-year-old self, I was giving myself a hug.
You're giving your 8-year-old a hug.
No.
I was giving my 8-year-old self a hug, not a little baby, not a real one.
But I was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's quite a range of children's books, right? And I think the top one that comes to mind for me is actually the one that inspired the name of the book. It's called 100 Little Dresses. That's a beautiful book around children and bullying. And then I think the South African market is creating an incredible range of books as well, right? So Mpumi's Magic Beads is such a beautiful story. Kekana recently released Curly Hair, Brown Skin and Curly Hair. That's a really beautiful book. I think another really book that I love, which is also a children's book. Hi, everyone. Hi. Another really good book. It's called Cry Hard But Never Break, and it also teaches children about family and intergenerational kind of connections. But I think that would be my top 4 children's books if we are speaking about children's books in particular at this point.
My fave right now is definitely Bushengaba's A Girl Without a Sound.
Yeah.
She, for me personally, as a theater maker, as a writer, she's always been a source of inspiration and sort of, that person that wakes you up to do more. So definitely for me, a book that really stayed with me after I engaged it was A Girl Without a Sound.
Oh wow, guys, thank you so much. We're all gonna go get more copies of Wanda because we're just so in love with Wanda, I would say. But once again, thank you guys for joining us. This has been such an amazing session. I love the work that you guys are doing. I think that part of the work that we do at the Cheeky Natives is to really curate these kinds of voices of Black women telling the kind of stories that we want to hear, that we wish we'd heard as children, that we want our children to hear as well. So this has been absolutely amazing. You guys have been wonderful. And we really look forward to all of the amazing stuff that you guys have lined up. I absolutely cannot wait to see all the other things that my girl Wanda gets up to. Besides inspiring our hairstyles, Wanda's that person. But once again, thank you guys so much. I can't wait for the second book. I know that's going to be absolutely awesome. But also, we can't wait for Wanda to continue to grow and surprise not only you, but all of the readers with just how amazing it is. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Cheeky Natives. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Bye.
And Sihle, we can definitely say that we've crossed a thing off our bucket list. Cheeky Natives done. Yes, 2020. Yes, 2020. Really excited. Thank you so much, Cheeky Natives. No, Sihle. No, but Sihle is a huge
Ooh.
fan of cheeky natives. I will say 100%, like elated. I was excited. She was elated. She is
We are anything.
stan.
This is a mutual standing. So we're super excited. We
Thank
think
you so
guys are the
much, you
stuff
guys.
legends are made of. So we're really, really excited to see you guys grow as writers. I can't wait to see it.
So lovely. Hey, Koketso.
Okay, bye y'all. Hi, Koketso. I am just saying this one thing. Cool. Because you. Hi, Koketso. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Good, thank you. We're super excited for your reading.
I'm super excited to be here. Excited and anxious, but
Don't be anxious. Don't be anxious. You're very excited. Okay. I'm just gonna turn off my video, but you can 100% go first.
sorry, I missed that.
I'm saying you can go for it. You can now start.
Okay, all right. So I'm not going to start with fully reading. I'm going to basically just give a summary of the book and talk about what the book is about before I read a chapter that I like.
Cool.
So my book is called, and I don't know if you can see this.
We can see it. We spotlighted you. Just go down a little bit.
So
Yay.
it's Kula meets Mama Winnie's Southern African friends. And Kula is this little girl who basically makes friends with Mama Winnie, who's her imaginary friend. And Mama Winnie takes her on a journey and introduces her to some of her friends. And her friends are from Botswana, Mozambique, and South Africa. And they basically tell her stories about their lives, which are based on true events of Southern Africa. And so Kula goes through a process of learning about some of the liberation leaders in Southern Africa. They also teach her lessons like, persevering, working together, right? And trying to live out your dream and not being too scared to be your true self.
So sure.
No.
So she meets, why did you choose her to meet Mama Winnie and some of her friends? Why that particular choice?
So the whole point of me wanting to write a book was trying to introduce young kids to heroes that haven't been spotlighted before. So I chose Mama Winnie because I knew that the average South African child knows about Nelson Mandela. But what they don't know is that there's another Mandela who has contributed just as much to the liberation of the country. So I chose Mama Winnie intentionally to open up young kids' world and broaden their knowledge. And then even the other, her friends were also intentional because I was trying to stay away from the more popular liberators. And I was just trying to just actually introduce kids to new leaders, well, old leaders, but bringing them to the forefront.
What are some of the receptions to the book? What have they been like?
I launched the book last year in August, and at the time when I was doing radio interviews, a caller called in, a parent, a father, and he said to me that he appreciated the fact that I was basically telling a story that is basically rooted in bloodshed in a clean way. So we all as adults know about the dark past, and he's saying he's always struggled to kind of make it palatable and digestible for young kids. So parents have been receiving it quite well. Kids have also been excited because they're more excited about knowing that there's something beyond. So a Soweto girl will be excited to know that there's something beyond Soweto and South Africa. So they like reading about Khanya from Botswana and Samora Michelle from Mozambique.
Oh, that's awesome. I think we can. You can go first.
Okay.
I want to go on an adventure with Kule.
So the book starts, right? Kule as like the average black child from the hood usually goes to her cousin's house for school holidays. So she gathers with her cousins either at her grandmother's house or at one of her cousins' house. And this particular holiday, her mom takes her to the beach for the first time. She's not really excited about it because the only fun she knows about having during school holidays is with her cousins. So she's, for the first time, going to be without them. She goes there, gets bored, and then eventually meets Mama Winnie. And I'm going to read a chapter later on in the book. So at this point, Kole has already met the majority of Mama Winnie's friends. And it's chapter 6. And it reads, "Guess what?" Mama Winnie said. "I have one last person for you to meet, my young friend. Are you ready?" Kole nodded and smiled. She was very grateful for another opportunity to meet someone new. She wondered what she would learn from Mama Winnie's new friend. "Dumela, I am happy to meet you, little girl. I am happy to meet a little girl who's eager to learn," Ntate Khama said in a calm and clear voice. "I've heard so much about you from my friends. Kinna Seretse Khama, Wako Botswana land, which you might know as Botswana." "Botswana?" a puzzled Kole asked. "Yes, it's a country that is next to South Africa, like Mozambique, where my dear friend Samora is from," explained Ntate Khama. "He was the first president of Botswana," whispered Mama Winnie. "Yes, that is correct," Ntate Khama said. "I am a descendant of a king. My grandfather, Kgosi Khama III, ruled over our people long before anyone came to colonize my country. Just like me, Ntate Khama was prevented from seeing the person that he loved for years. But he didn't go to prison. He was forced to live in another country," said Mama Winnie. "He was finally reunited with his family and his people, and he led them to an independent Botswana." "Why did you have to live in another country?" asked Kole. "Well, again, the people in power in Botswana at the time did not like some of the things he said and did. That included marrying a white woman from England," said Mama Winnie. "Well, those are just some of the reasons, Kole," added Ntate Khama. "Things were very different back then, and life was very hard for most people in Botswana." Yo. Will they also send my friend's dad to live in another country? He's married to a white lady," inquired a concerned Kole. "No, they will not," said President Khama, trying his best not to burst out laughing. "Like I said, things were very different. Things are different now. People are free to love and marry anyone. Although I wish the people were free back then, I am happy that they're free right now. What I want you to remember are the words of Ntate Sebukwe. Africans should help each other to solve our own problems. I'm a great believer in that way of doing things. I helped my friends who were leaders of Zimbabwe and Namibia to fight their struggles and build a brighter future for their people and their countries," said Ntate Khama. "So even though your country had problems, you were able to help people in other countries with their problems?" asked Kole, looking at Ntate Khama with a bit of skepticism. Mama Winnie smiled. "All of my friends helped each other at some point in their lives. A wise woman once said, 'Your silence will not protect you.' We all need to speak against unfair treatment, even when it's not directed at us. We need to help those around us." "Those are good words to live by," said Ntate Khama. Kole said quietly, trying to process her own thoughts and everything that had been said. She thought about how Mama Winnie's friends have achieved a lot. They made sacrifices and did not give up on the fight for freedom. Most importantly, they were willing to help others despite the load that they themselves had to carry. And yeah, that is my chapter. And just for the kids, this is this is Kole, this is Mama Winnie, and this is Ntate Sretsakama that Kole made.
So I think this is such a beautiful, like, historical story for children to learn about our history. I think that we don't often get a chance to teach our children, like that father said. So this is such a beautiful story. Where can people get the book? So one of the places is the Cheeky Merchants.
Yes. That's how people can get it.
I can't wink, but neither can Rihanna. But get the get the book from the Cheeky Merchants. We have copies of this book, which is really awesome.
Yes.
How do people get into contact with you?
So people can get it on Cheeky Merchants. They can also get it on Ethnic Kids' website, which is ethnickids.co.za, and also at Book Capital Circle in Marvel at 27 boxes. They can also get it by making contact with my foundation, which is the Kagisano Foundation, by sending an email to info@kagisanofoundation.co.za. And also, just to let people know how I came to determining the price of the book. I didn't take into account the cost of producing the book. So for each book that is sold, one child gets to be part of an online learning program that my foundation runs, which basically teaches grade 1, 2, and 3 learners how to read and write English using a laptop. So we basically teach them literacy skills and computer skills.
That's amazing. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about Kagisano? How do people support Kagisano? How do people contribute to Kagisano, etc.?
So the foundation, works with basically the young Black child from foundation level of grade 1 all the way up until matric. And I forgot your question.
Tell us a little bit about Kagisano, no worries. Tell us about Kagisano. What is Kagisano about? Because you do amazing work. So what is Kagisano about? And how do people best support Kagisano?
Okay, so like I said, it works with kids from the foundation level until matric. With regards to foundation levels, it's the mobile reading lab, which we teach kids basically how to read. So we are almost substituting the English subject in schools. We provide laptops, headsets and mouse for each child, and about an hour and a half, actually 3 hours a week. The learners interact with this online program, and it teaches them grammar, letter recognition, sentence construction, and then that's one aspect of it. And then with regards to the older learners, we help matric students from townships where they're applying for learnerships, universities, FET colleges, and funding. So we basically provide them with access to the internet to find out what the opportunities are and how to exploit those opportunities beyond grade 12. We also have a program running called Get a Young Mother Back to School, where we basically assist young mothers who've dropped out of school because of pregnancy to get back to school and get their matric. And people can get in contact with us. We are on Instagram as Kagisano_foundation, and Kagisano spelled Kagisano Foundation, and on Facebook as Kagisano Foundation. There are 2 Facebook pages for some odd reason. Please ignore the one that doesn't have any postings from this year. And they can also email us at info@kagisanofoundation.co.za.
So what's next for Kole?
So there are 2 things that are next for Kole. So the current book is basically for all the kids, basically like between the ages of 9 and 12. And I've gotten so much feedback from parents who are saying the young kids want to know who this big Afro little girl is and what she does. So I'm going to produce the same book, Kole Meets Mama Winnie Southern African Friends, but targeted at younger kids. And then for the older kids, Kole will be going to East Africa West Africa to meet Mama Winnie's friends there in that aspect. And we're also we'll be producing merchandise, which is backpacks for kids and t-shirts.
That is absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see what happens in Gule Goes to West Africa. It's going to be super, super exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Koketso. This has been absolutely enlightening. I really enjoyed it. We are super encouraging everybody to go out and get the book from the Cheeky Merchants and from the Ethnic Kids and Book Circle, but also to support the Katlego Foundation, which does such amazing work in our townships. We're super excited for that as well. But also just to say thank you once again. This has been such a great session. We really enjoyed it. I hope you feel that your nerves were misplaced.
Listen, I suffer from anxiety disorder, so I'm always on edge.
I think this has also been such a difficult time as well, right? I think that the pandemic and everything that's happened has not been great, but there's something so beautiful about reading stories about children who look like us, to give our 8-year-old selves, like Mathabo was saying, a hug as well. So thank you so much, Koketso. So thank you so much to everybody who joined us for the first ever Cheeky Natives Children's Festival. It has been absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much to everybody who participated. Please do go and get every single one of the titles mentioned today. I actually want to read all of them out. Please do go out and get Color Me Melanin. Please go get I Love Me by Khanya Africa. Color Me Melanin was by Katlego, Kekana. Why is the clock saying they can't see me? Okay. Can you see me now? Okay. Please go and get out. Please go and get the authors from today. So get Color Me Melanin, get I Love Me by Khanya Africa. Color Me Melanin was by Katlego, Kekana. Bumi and Jabu's Magical Day by Lebohang Masango and Claudine Storbeck. Wanda by Sihle, Nontshokweni and Mathabo, Tlali, and Kole Meets Mama Winnie's Southern African Friends by Koketso, Lediga. This has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us. We absolutely cannot wait for the next edition of the Cheeky Natives Children's Festival.